definitely not going to talk about drawing or anything like that, so we'll just start with the basics of a good grip, I guess. Doesn't really matter, you know, the size of the gun, within reason. If it's a super small, subcompact gun, it's going to be obviously less surface area for you to grip onto, but it doesn't really generally matter. Weapons clear, just so that we're not flagging the cameraman. Sweet. So, whatever your dominant hand is, right, that is where what you might think, you might guess that like all your grip's going to be, all your support and tension is going to be in that dominant hand. It's really not true. Okay, you do want a good solid grip, so depending on where like the bore axis and if you have a beaver tail and all that, it doesn't really matter. What you want now is that web of your finger to go up as high as possible, get as close to that bore as possible. So you don't want to be gripping a gun down here. See all that gap? You want to avoid that. So if it's got a beaver tail, you want to go up as high as you can, get as high up on the gun as you can. All right, different grips and stuff like that. Some of them are going to be stipple, some are not. Again, doesn't really make a difference for that. Your dominant hand, finger off the trigger until you're ready to engage the target from there. And then now all this real estate on this side of the gun, your support hand is now going to mold around that and get yourself some good real estate on there, okay? I've heard different things, 60-40, you know, squeeze like you're squeezing with your support hand, like you're going in with a good manly handshake or womanly handshake, whatever you might be. And then from that, that's really where that support's coming from. 9mm guns, there's not a lot of recoil, but this is a much smaller package, unlike like something like a rifle. So there's going to be a lot of recoil that's going to go back in your body or create muzzle rise, just because it's such a smaller package from there. Pistols are ostensibly harder to shoot than rifles. That's just how it is. So, all right, got that good high grip on the gun here, getting that support hand up and around. There's a couple different things here. So same thing that you were talking about as far as your stance goes. You want that good like semi-fighter stance, like you're getting ready to throw a punch if you can, just so you'd be able to move if you need to move. You don't want to necessarily be flat-footed on the balls of your feet, right? You want to be a little bit good solid position here so you can still move if you need to. And just a nice athletic stance. If you played any sports, just think of the sport that you played, and that probably is going to transition into that. So nice high up on the gun, good support from there. You're going to go ahead and push out. I wouldn't recommend pushing all the way out until your arms are locked, because one, it's called statics, right? So the more force that I'm placing on something, the further out, the more it's going to be up and down, left and right. So you come out from here, you're going to find those sights, and then from there, right? So you're not going to see a whole bunch of rise out of that. And almost all that is coming from my support hand. I'm not death squeezing on this, because the more I death squeeze on this, the more I'm going to see shaking. I'm exaggerating it for this point, but more I'm going to see that, and because it's such a small sight radius and small barrel, every single millimeter that you're moving is going to create drastic misses downrange from there. So it's all coming from that support hand. Right? And that's pretty much it. There's a whole bunch more as far as drawing, getting your sight picture and all that kind of stuff, but as far as just maintaining a good solid grip, high up on the gun itself, have a whole bunch of real estate left over for your support hand, get that on there, about 60-40 grip strength from your support to your firing hand from there, push out, get your sights on there, and then a smooth trigger break. So we didn't really talk about that, but just a smooth kind of trigger pull. You're not jerking the trigger. As you get more time on your gun, you're going to find where that wall is, and then as you get into more faster and rapid shooting from there, you're not letting your finger all the way off the trigger. That's going to have a tendency now to slap the trigger, and you're going to do all kinds of weird shit with the pistol. So instead, you're going to find where that wall is, nice smooth trigger pull to the rear, and then pretend the gun cycles from here. You're going to let off that reset. Your finger's still going to be on the trigger, and you're really just letting it go right until you hear that reset happen from there, and then you're back onto there. And that's how you end up shooting fast. I by no means am a good pistol shooter or a fast pistol shooter.
Oh, pistols are the hardest thing to actually shoot.
Absolutely. But I at least have some decent fundamentals. This is going to go on the internet, so somebody's going to tell me I'm wrong, but that's fine. But that's pretty much it. Like pistols are hard to shoot, but they're also a lot of fun to shoot. And pretty much in today's day and age, you're not walking around carrying a rifle unless you're doing what we're doing, which is training and having fun out here on public land. But if their local and state laws allow, like it's gonna be, 200 people at Walmart out of the 500 that are concealed carrying pistols. So pistols are gonna be the most common firearms that you're gonna find out in the wild, not find, but just what are out there. So knowing how to shoot a pistol, knowing how to shoot it well, it's probably good fundamentals that everyone should take time and invest and work on.